Female Foeticide 1 recording length 05 minutes and 33 seconds. This recording was created using www.spokentext.net. Female Foeticide in India. Eligible Jat, Indian, boys from Haryana travel 3,000 kilometers across the country to find themselves a bride. With increasingly fewer girls in Haryana, they are seeking brides from as far away as Kerala, as the only way to change their single status. What is female foeticide? Foeticide is a process terminating or aborting a pregnancy based upon the predicted gender of the baby. The selective abortion of female fetuses is most common in areas where cultural norms value male children over female children, especially in parts of People's Republic of China, India, Pakistan, and the Caucasus. Gender selective abortion can affect the human gender ratio, the relative number of males to females. According to the 2011 CIA World Fact Book, countries with more than 110 males per 100 females at birth also include Albania and former Soviet republics of Armenia and Azerbaijan. A 2005 study estimated that over 90 million females were missing from the expected population in Afghanistan, Bangladesh, China, India, Pakistan, South Korea, and Taiwan alone, and suggested that sex-selective abortion plays a role in this deficit. Foeticide in India. This is a major social problem in India and has cultural connections with the dowry system that is ingrained in Indian culture, despite the fact that it has been prohibited by law since 1961. In India, a strong preference for sons over daughters exists, unlike in Western cultures. Researchers for the Lancet journal based in Canada and India stated that 500,000 girls were being lost annually through sex-selective abortions. Processes of abortion, fetal sex determination and sex-selective abortion by medical professionals has grown into a 1,000 crore industry in India, us 44 million. Prenatal gender discernment. The earliest post-implantation test is to take a blood sample from the mother and test on the small amount of fetal DNA that can be found within it. A meta-analysis published in 2011 found that such tests are reliable more than 98% of the time, as long as they are taken after the 7th week of pregnancy. Obstetric ultrasonography, either transvaginally or transabdominally, can check for the sagittal sign as a marker of fetal gender. It can be performed between 65. Female Foeticide 2 recording length 04 minutes and 47 seconds. This recording was created using www.spokentext.net. Reasons for foeticide. Culture plays a larger role than economic conditions in gender preference and sex-selective abortion, because such deviations in sex ratios do not exist in sub-Saharan Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Demographers argue that perceived gender imbalances may arise from the underreporting of female births rather than sex-selective abortion or infanticide. Cultural preference. The reason for intensifying sex-selection abortion in India can be seen through history and cultural background. Generally, before the information era, male babies were preferred because they provided manual labor and success the family lineage. A son is often preferred as an asset since he can earn and support the family. A daughter is a liability since she will be married off to another family and so will not contribute financially to her parents. The patriarchal structure of a society is the single most important factor skewing the sex ratio in favor of males, accentuated in some cultures by the burden of raising a dowry for a daughter's marriage. Furthermore, in some cultures sons are expected to take care of their parents in their old age. Sexual discrimination. The role of women in India is to stay home, do house chores, and raise children. They are mutely banned to work in the society, pressured by family, and discouraged by society. In these societies, mothers are compelled to assist their husbands and raise their children, sparing no time for self-development, and are viewed as inferior to men. One-child policy. For parents to ensure financial dependence and her successor, a boy must be born. In this regard, the pervasion of male-dominant culture and one-child policy heightens the sex-selective abortion. Societal effects. Demography issues and wifeless men. The strong preference on boys over girls will bring about a serious problem: millions of wifeless men. In coming years, the skewed ratio of men and women could cause men to have difficulty in finding brides. There are reports of women from Vietnam, Myanmar, and North Korea systematically trafficked to mainland China, Taiwan, Indian rural areas, and sold into forced marriages. Measures taken. A roadside slogan calls motorists to crack down on medically unnecessary antenatal sex identification and sex-selective pregnancy termination practices. The government initially supported the practice to control population growth. The Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques (PCP, NDT) Act was passed in 1994, making sex-selective abortion illegal. It was then modified in 2003, holding medical professionals legally responsible. However, the PCP, NDT, Act has been poorly enforced by authorities. Such as the Gendercide Watch and Population Research Institute have been created to address the issue of sex-selective abortion. In Punjab, India, government and Go networks have set up orphanages to shelter the unwanted girls. In 1994, over 180 states signed the Program of Action of the International Conference on Population and Development, agreeing to eliminate all forms of discrimination against the girl child. In 2011, the resolution of PACE's Committee on Equal Opportunities for Women and Men condemned the practice of prenatal sex selection. In Canada, a group of MPs led by Mark Warawa are working on having the Parliament pass a resolution condemning sex-selective pregnancy termination. The United States Congress has debated legislation that would outlaw the practice. The legislation ultimately failed to pass in the House of Representatives. On the state level, laws against sex-selective abortions have been passed in a number of U.S. states. The law passed in Arizona in 2011 has a rather unique wording, prohibiting both sex-selective and race-selective abortion. In popular culture, the Manish Ha film, Mathrubhumi, A Nation Without Women, 2003, depicts a future in a village in India, populated exclusively by males due to female infanticide, and which is reduced to barbarianism. It was also featured in the 2012 movie The Dictator, when Admiral General Aladdin notices a couple giving birth to a baby girl, which he wanted to throw away. This recording was created using spoken text, the free online text-to-speech converter. To learn more about spoken text, visit www.spokentext.net.